Om Sri Sai Ram. My love and humble pranams to Bhagwan's lotus feet. I wish all a warm welcome. My name is Sister Sita, and I will be offering the welcome speech this evening. The Bhagavad Gita teaches us, for the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. We are here to commemorate the life and memories of Brother Vaithilingam Ishwaran, who returned to Swami yesterday on the 13th of May, peacefully among the presence of loved ones. We are gathered here tonight to take time to hear the memories of Uncle Ishwaran by esteemed leaders, people who have worked with him, and personal friends who will speak fondly of their time together with Uncle. The session will start with prayers and then followed by the eulogies. Brother Ishwaran, or Uncle Ishwaran, fondly known by some of us, was president of the Sri Sathya Sai Centre, Woodlands, and past president of the SSSOS. He served as a member in the Central Executive Committee of the SSIOS and advisor to the SSIO IP committee. What's wonderful is that Uncle had played various roles to different people and left different impacts on these people. I first knew of Uncle when I first stepped into the Sai Centre. He was a constant fixture in the Woodlands Sai Centre. In fact, I never knew of Thursday bhajan sessions without Uncle Ishwaran around. He was there to deliver Swami's message and then as extension, impromptu satsangs with devotees there. In my final years of knowing him, I serendipitously found out another surprising role of Uncle as an ardent student of Swami. Like a student beginning his first steps in a school, Uncle Ishwaran was on a path inward and no one could stop him. Reverential conversations I will now treasure within. He told me of his conversations with his beloved Swami, someone he loved so dearly. He also taught me the ultimate lesson of life, to find Swami within. In this regard, I feel he has proved himself as an exemplary student in practicing Swami's teachings. To go back to the Bhagavad Gita's teachings on the soul, unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. I take comfort in knowing that Uncle Ishwaran has gone back to his home, Swami's lotus feet, the primal source of everything. Farewell, Uncle Ishwaran, and my many, many thanks for your lessons. If you could all join in on the prayers, we invite all of you to close your eyes and join in as we send love to our beloved Uncle Ishwaran. Please close your eyes as you chant the following mantras: 3 Omkars, 3 Gayatri mantras, 3 Sai Gayatris, and 9 times Triambaka mantra. Let us also send light and healing love to Uncle Ishwaran's family who is going through this trying and challenging time. Jai Sai Ram.
भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ ह्रीं नमः शिवाय। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ ह्रीं नमः शिवाय। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ ह्रीं नमः शिवाय। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ ह्रीं नमः शिवाय। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ ह्रीं नमः शिवाय। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ ह्रीं नमः शिवाय। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुगमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ ह्रीं नमः शिवाय ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुगमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ ह्रीं नमः शिवाय ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुगमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ ह्रीं नमः शिवाय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Humble pranams at our dearest Swami's lotus feet. Dear brothers and sisters, uncles and aunties, on this solemn occasion in memory of our dear brother Eswaran, may we all collectively draw on Swami's immense love and compassion. This loss we feel speaks volumes of brother Eswaran's connection with each of us. As we remember him, let us also celebrate his life, his achievements, and most of all, his love and commitment to Swami. Today, we have office bearers of the Sathya Sai International Organization Singapore and the Sathya Sai International Organization Zone 4B and 5, who will now share their loving memories of Brother Eswaran. Let us invite Sister Basanta, National Council President, Sathya Sai International Organization Singapore, to say a few words.
Thank you for joining this prayer held in the memory of Brother Eswaran, whose funeral was held earlier this evening. Many of us were not able to attend because of the COVID-19 situation, which is really sad and incomplete, not being able to send him off on his final earthly journey of his physical form. I have known dear Brother Eswaran since I became a member of the Sai family close to 30 years ago. Over the years, we came through different and difficult transitions. Brother Eswaran has been a core team member as the president of the Sri Sathya Sai Woodlands Centre and a member of the national organization. He has seen the transition from Sathya Sai Central Organization to Sri Sathya Sai Organization Singapore to the current Sathya Sai International Organization, and was the key member with Dr. Ravi and Auntie Viji and a team who drafted the Sri Sathya Sai Organization Singapore Constitution to be aligned with the Charter. It was a mammoth feat. His most recent position with Sathya Sai International Organization is as a member of the Intellectual Property Committee. He was well respected as an advocate, a man of truth and knowledge. His expertise as a lawyer was crucial to the Sai organization. Brother Eswaran's love for Swami was deep, extremely strong, and absolutely unwavering. His love and commitment to the Sai organization was well entrenched, following the footsteps of his father, a pioneer and a devoted veteran in the Singapore Sai scene, who continued doing his seva in the Sai movement till he took his last breath. Likewise, Brother Eswaran continued to serve the organization unflinchingly, riding through all odds until his last breath. Brother Ichu, we used to call him and tease him, some of us lovingly, And he loved those jokes. When he jokes, he's a totally different person. When he lets his guard down, you see him as such a loving and compassionate person, the one that's inside. He makes his yearly trip in July to Prashanti Nilayam with his sister who passed away in January this year. She was a mother to him, and he was very broken by her passing. In the year 2001, Brother Eswaran was invited to join a Singapore group, Yatra, called Journey to Love, while in Prashanti Nilayam, as the office bearer of the then Sathya Sai Central Organization. Swami granted an interview to more than 200 Singaporeans in the Mandir, and Brother Eswaran was the first Swami approached and spoke to. Swami asked him what he worked as and teased him lovingly about his legal profession. Brother Eswaran was very happy that his late wife and his brother-in-law were also in Swami's divine presence. Brother Eswaran is just a year younger than me. I used to tell him he needs to call me Akka, meaning elder sister. We had many, many heated discussions and disagreed on several matters over the years. But he has always provided a listening ear and sound advice. We built a relationship on trust and truth and stood by these principles and Swami's teachings. I will miss my loving Sai brother's presence dearly. I know he is at peace eternally at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Bhagavan and reunited with his loved ones. Dear Brother Eswaran, I know you will accept this offering in love and gratitude. I hope this will be up to your expectations, as you are always clear and precise with your words. Thank you for your presence in our lives. We love you. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sister Vasanta. Now we have Brother Manoj Singh, Chair, Zone 4B, Sathya Sai International Organization, who has known Brother Eswaran for several years and spent occasions in Prashanti Nilayam with him.
Sai Ram, my humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Swami. I know Brother Eswaran for last more than 4 years. When I met him first time in the Prashanti Council member, sitting at one corner, waiting to listen to all the proceedings from morning till evening. And at final end, when his turn came, he spoke very few words. But when we spoke, it was so straight and so confident voice, which I treasure today also. My interaction with him was more when I visited Singapore. And it happened to be that he came to pick me up from the airport and he drove me once to the airport. And during those drives, he spoke about his family, his work, and his love for Swami. And after listening to him, it really gave me a very good feeling that how a strong faith in Swami can give a strength to a person. He was torn between taking care of his wife, his work, and Sai's work. But the amount of confidence, amount of clarity he showed when he used to talk, it amazed me that this is where Swami comes to our rescue. Even whatever happens, you continue doing his work. When an earthquake happens, tremors are felt in a larger area. And yesterday when the news went, SSIO leaders around the world send their condolences. And my email is filled with all those messages. And to further, today the SSIO International Chairman, Dr. Reddy, he called me personally that he may not be able to join, but please read my message which I have sent it to you. And I'm reading it to you. He has written that I learned today that Sri Ishwaran Vaithilingam has merged with our Lord Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. On behalf of the Sathya Sai International Organization, with love and humility, we pay tribute to his loving services in the divine mission. Brother Ishwaran was a member of the SSIO Intellectual Property Committee and a past president of SSIO Singapore. He served the organization well in many capacities, and we are grateful for his selfless service at both local and international levels. His contributions to setting up the copyright and trademark process to protect Swami's name and his organization are noteworthy. We pray to Swami to give his soul permanent peace. Please convey my sincere condolences to his family and friends. Then Brother Rohan Balasurya, the Prashanti Council member and co-chair of SSIO Hospitality Committee, he sent me a message. Please convey my sincere, heartfelt Sai Rams and condolences. Brother Ishwaran was a very good person with lot of love for Swami. My prayers for the soul of Brother Ishwaran to be at the divine lotus feet for eternity. Brother Leonardo Gutter, Dr. Patel, Brother Krishna, and so many have sent their messages, which I will not be reading, but just to say that his passing away, the tremors have been felt in many hearts. And this shows that full Sai fraternity is standing by to give farewell to this great soldier of Swami, at the same time giving the comfort to the family who has to bear the loss. May Swami protect him in his eternal journey and give strength to the people of the family to bear the loss. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Brother Manoj, for sharing the wonderful words from our brothers and sisters from around the world. Let us now hear from Brother Ashok Sakrani. Brother Ishwaran and Brother Ashok were close friends and brothers in Sai, and also members of the SSIO Intellectual Property Committee. Brother Ashok Sakrani, Chair, Zone 5.
Saram, I offer my most loving and humble pranams to our beloved Bhagwan. I offer my loving sarams to all of you in Singapore, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to speak on this very, very sad occasion. I first met Ishwaran in 2004 when I came to Singapore. There was a meeting when the Prashanti Council Chair had come to Singapore, and all members of Zone 4 and Zone 5 were invited. I remember him as the Deputy National Council President. He was the MC for the program. And I really became friends with him a bit later when, at a time when we were both national chair presidents, he in Singapore and me in Hong Kong. And we were both lawyers, and he was just a little bit older than me. So I guess it was inevitable that we would become friends. We discussed our legal practices, the legal issues in SSIO, and I know he was working on that constitution. And over the years, we just had general conversations, encouraging each other, helping each other, giving each other advice on general administration and our own seva in our respective Sai organizations. But most importantly, we spoke about Swami's teachings and our love for him, and those teachings and what they meant to us on our spiritual journeys. It was very easy to be a good friend of Ishwaran. He was soft-spoken, he was always calm, and he was never agitated. He was simple, and he was unassuming. He was very principled and selfless in his service to the organization. He was truly dedicated. A couple of years ago, we had the good fortune of actually working together for the very first time, because he joined the Intellectual Property Committee of the international organization, which I was also a member of. And together with someone else, we were the three lawyers on the committee with others. It was a joy really working with him. And I saw up close for the very first time his close commitment to his work, the skill he brought to it, his dedication, his intelligence. And he was really very active on that committee, preparing papers. And I know he was also doing work in Singapore. And being lawyers, we inevitably spoke about the seva. I know he had not been well in hospital for the past 2 months, and I was speaking to him from time to time. And I know he didn't say very much to a lot of the people in Singapore because, to be honest, he didn't want to worry all of you. And he didn't want all of you to take the trouble of coming to visit him in hospital during the time of the virus and eventually the lockdown in Singapore. But, you know, he was always attentive towards the Sai organization in Singapore, very committed to it, and he cared very deeply for all of you. I had the good fortune of speaking to him during the time that he was in hospital and journeying with him during that time. And the sad thing is he was really doing well and getting better. And then the last few days, things took an unexpected turn for the worst. And I think by that time, you know, things became clearer. But one of the things that he and I said almost in jest sometimes, but deep in our hearts, we knew that we were very, very serious about it. We always said the boss is in charge, you know, referring to Swami, of course, and he's in charge of everything. And the funny thing is, having said that once, I said it almost flippantly, but knowing, of course, that Swami is in charge. And somehow Eswaran picked up on it. And it resonated with him so much. And, you know, when there were times when he was a bit challenged with his health, you know, we would talk about it and he would just remind me the boss is in charge. And I think, you know, he was very accepting of Swami's will. He was dealing with a medical issue. But more important than that, he was totally dedicated to what Swami wanted, to surrendering himself to Swami. And I think that is a lesson for all of us, where as we face our adversity, and he faced really a great adversity, he did it with full faith that whatever the outcome, it would be Swami's will, and that he would accept that will. I will miss him very dearly because I've known him, as I say, for over 15 years. And we've walked the journey together in many ways in our positions in the Sai organization. And, you know, we were of similar age, similar makeup, and we'd talk about our love for Swami and our commitment to him. It's not easy to find people like that who you can connect so closely to. But I'm sure all of you will miss him. And I hope if there's one thing we're going to take away from tonight in his life, is that soft-spoken calmness and dedication to Swami's mission and our seva. And this is a time, you know, of rejuvenation, of our individual commitments and our united commitments to work together. And that's one thing I'd say about him. He was a bridge builder. And, you know, we need more bridge builders. We need people who will bring people together so that we walk together, because ultimately that is our satsang. So it is a very heavy heart that, you know, I have. We are all here. But, you know, he was a very fine man and a very fine devotee. And I will remember him, and I'm sure all of you will too. Jai Saram.
Thank you, Brother Ashok. The boss is in charge is an apt dictum that all of us can adopt. And being a bridge builder is something that all of us can aspire to as well. We now have Uncle Dr. Ravindran, former chair, Zone 4B, Sathya Sai International Organization, who has known Brother Eswaran for many years. Brother Eswaran looked up to Uncle Ravi and Auntie Viji as elder members of the Sai organization and shared a very close bond with them. Let us invite Uncle Dr. Ravi.
I offer my humble pranams, Lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Brothers and sisters of Zone 4, A and B. I've known Brother Eswaran from early 1980s when I first became Baba's devotee. And I used to visit him in Singapore to see his father and be with him for the bhajans. And we used to borrow books from Brother Eswaran. I was really surprised to see that he could play harmonium very well. Time passed. Next, I saw him as an accomplished lawyer, perfect in his manners and wisdom. Our journey together in the Sai organization of Singapore, the saga of love. I'm sure he was a light to all of us who will continue to shine. Is the wisdom behind the new constitution of the Sai organization of Singapore, and has been a very sincere devotee of Bhagavan through all ups and downs of life. The Ishwaran has Brother Ishwaran has risen from national to an international position as the chairman of the intellectual property of the SSIO Zone 4B. As a dear brother, very close to me, to my heart, I'm sure he's left an indelible sweet mark in the heart of many of us. I'm sure he's with Swami and listening to us now. Ishwaran, we love you.
Thank you, Uncle Dr. Ravi. Now I invite Brother Vajdev Kyalani, former National Council President, Sathya Sai International Organization, Singapore, to say a few words.
Sai Ram, Sai Ram, my loving pranams to the divine lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Those of us who were there in the 90s, we started all mostly in 90s. Eswaran, myself, of course, we also knew Eswaran's father, Uncle Lingam, Brother Will. We were a very close group. We really worked very well together. I remember Eswaran when I first met him. He was quite quiet. That was, I think, in 95, 25 years ago. And we became very, very close, actually. He was more involved in the center and also in the national level. I also, same thing. And we used to discuss with each other about how to proceed with various events and all that. I remember one time when Dr. I think Goldstein asked us in Singapore to have a look at the charter. And, he, myself, and a number of others, we were together and we went through the charter, came out with some suggestions. And in the end, anyway, of course, it was an exercise where we got to know the charter more. Swami made us learn the charter better. And in the end, when Brother Eswaran sent in the final well-written report, of course, the whole thing was we discussed at the World Conference later on. But I remember him and we became so close that after that, I was literally any major event in his life and my life, we used to share greatly. Remember his father, in fact, when his father passed away, he called me and he said that after that, he asked me whether it's possible to put the ashes in Chitravati River, and then we all arrange it together. Then after that, one shock after another came for him. But in spite of all that, I think you all know that after his father, his wife passed away, then his mother, his sisters. So it was quite a literally, one shock after another. But during all this time, he never ever lost any faith in Swami. He always surrendered. He always said, this must be what is best. Swami is the one to decide. So I think that's a very good lesson we can learn from Brother Eswaran. Regardless of the various shocks, and they were really great shocks. He was very, very close to his father. He was also extremely close to his wife, his mother, and sisters. And, it was quite a big shock, I could see. But in spite of that, it only made him more devoted to Swami. I think that is a very outstanding thing he did. He really had full, absolute faith in Swami. He surrendered to Swami. And I really, when I heard just yesterday that he had left, I really could not speak, because all the memories of us being together just flooded me. Anyway, I'm sure he has spent, you have listened to the others, and I also think that what they said is only a very brief precis of what is Brother Eswaran. There's a lot more to him, but we cannot say so much. Time is short. I also don't know where to stop, but all I can say is, let us remember him as a torchbearer. We had a very good transition from a time of challenges in Singapore to a time of peace. And really, let's appreciate the great love, the great faith he had for Swami. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, Brother Vashi. I also remember I'm Sister Renga, and I've also worked with Brother Eswaran when we were redrawing the Constitution. And one of the key things that happened when we redrew the Constitution in line with the Charter is that all of us as centers registered as separate societies became directly affiliated to the World Foundation, which was a milestone for Singapore, so that we are all together inside doing our work in our various capacities to serve Swami. Thank you, everyone. I know that there are many of us here who wants to share beautiful memories of Brother Eswaran. We encourage us to call each other and to share the moments that you have experienced with Brother Eswaran in the Sai organization and as we do our work together in Sai. We now have a special tribute song for Brother Eswaran. The song was presented during Swami's 94th birthday celebrations last year, sung by Brother Sathya from Singapore. It is a testament to Swami's love and presence in all our lives, which transcends this physical plane. We came from him, and we will return to him, and his love for us will always remain true. After the song and the closing prayers, devotees are requested to sit silently and pray for a few minutes for Brother Eswaran's soul to rest in eternal peace with our dear Lord Sai. May all beings in all the worlds be happy. Om Sri Sai Ram.
கார்மேக கண்ணனை போலே காளை முருகனை போலே கையிலை எங்களுக்கு காட்சி தந்து இடர் நீக்கும் திருவிளக்கே சத்ய சாய் பாபா சரணம் ஐயா. சத்ய சாய் பாபா சரணமையா. சத்ய சாய் பாபா சரணமையா. நித்தமுனை பணிந்தோம் சரணமையா. சத்ய சாய் பாபா சரணமையா. நித்தமுனை பணிந்தோம் சரணமையா. சத்ய சாய் பாபா சரணமையா. கும்பிட்டு நின்றார் குறை தீருமென்றே. கும்பிட்டு நின்றார் குறை தீருமென்றே. நம்பிக்கை கொண்டோம் சரணமையா. கும்பிட்டு நின்றார் குறை தீருமென்றே. நம்பிக்கை கொண்டோம் சரணமையா. சத்ய சாய் பாபா சரணமையா. சத்ய சாய் பாபா சரணமையா. பிறர் துன்பம் நீக்க பிறந்தவரே. பேரின்ப ஒளியாக உதித்தவரே. பிறர் துன்பம் நீக்க பிறந்தவரே. பேரின்ப ஒளியாக உதித்தவரே. எம் தெய்வமாய் வந்தவரே. எம் தெய்வமாய் வந்தவரே. தரிசனம் தந்து ஆழ்வீரே. தரிசனம் தந்து ஆழ்வீரே. ஐயா சத்ய சாய் பாபா சரணமையா. சத்ய சாய் பாபா சரணமையா. நித்தமுனை பணிந்தோம் சரணமையா. சத்ய சாய் பாபா சரணமையா. சத்ய சாய் பாபா. 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 சத்ய சாய் பாபா.
ॐ तत्सत् श्रीनारायण त्वं पुरुषोत्तम गुरु त्वं सिद्धबुद्धतुं स्कन्दविनायक सविता पावकतुं सविता पावकतुं ब्रह्ममस्दतुं यावशक्तितुं येषु पिता प्रभुतुं रुद्रविष्णुतुं रामकृष्णतुं रहीमताओतुं रहीमताओतुं वासुदेव गो विश्वरूपतुं चितानन्द हरितुं अद्वितीयतुं अकालनिर्भय आत्मलिङ्ग शिवतुं आत्मलिङ्ग शिवतुं आत्मलिङ्ग शिवतुं
समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु शांति शांति शांति। जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।